I'm Shea.
And I'm Shealyn.
And this is Shea's Scare Lounge. And today we're doing our Halloween edition. And what are we talking about today?
Well, we wanted to pick our favorite Halloween or our most memorable Halloween film.
Mm-hmm.
So clearly, which one? Mine. Oh, look, I fit it right in with them. Look.
You do.
The Great Halloween H2O. And you will be talking about
Halloween 5.
You
just because that girl
it?
actually creeps me the fuck out. But yes.
Danielle Harris.
Yes, I think that's her. Yeah, Danielle Harris. She was in a bunch of stuff afterwards, so I thought that was cute. I was like, oh, mostly horror films, so I like that.
And she still looks the same. I feel like I just have to be dancing this whole time in the skeleton thing.
Yeah,
what do you think?
Spooky skeletons with shivers down their spine.
Ooh, there was something on my nipple. Anyway, since yours chronologically is before mine, would you like to discuss first?
Sure. So I watched it yesterday to give me a refresh, and yeah. So I guess Danielle Harris, who plays Jamie, is his niece, and in the fourth one, he was after her, so she survives the fourth one. Her stepsister survives the fourth one. They thought they killed him. In the beginning of this one, it shows how he escapes, and some like poor, like homeless hobo guy who lives off of the river of this town, like brings him back, like nurses him back to health, and then Michael Myers kills him. I'm like, well, thank you. Rude.
This is why you don't help people. That's
right, exactly. Moral of the story: don't help people. So then he's on this big hunt to find Jamie, who is now in a mental institution, and for whatever reason, maybe because of trauma, she can't talk. I mean, she can talk later, but she just can't talk. So she, writes everything out. And then because they're related or connected in some way, there's some kind of telepathy type thing going on to where she can see when and who he's killing, like through his eyes or something. And so she ends up wigging out when he's killing, like, but it doesn't happen all the time because she didn't know that certain people had died.
Selective. Yeah. Okay.
It is. It's like, I don't know, for whatever reason, when they're connected at that moment, she's wigging out that he's killing people, or she's just thinking about killing people and not realizing it's in real life. I don't know. But Dr. Loomis is in this one. Got the best, bedside manner. He's shaking her and yelling.
Creepy in this one.
A little
isn't
bit.
He a little too close? That's what I thought when I saw this. Like, he's too much on her,
Yes, like he's like, help me figure this out, and he's shaking her, and I'm just like, well, that's not gonna get you any points. So, dude, back off. Mm-hmm. So you were saying he ends up dying at the end of this.
Got it. Who? By Michael? By Michael's
yes.
hand?
So I don't even know what was wrong with Dr. Loomis. Like, you've been doing this for 17 years, and so you walk up to him like you're buds, thinking what he's gonna put the knife down. Everyone gets like close, or like at one point Michael takes his mask off and he's talking to Jamie, or he's not talking, but she's talking, and she calls him uncle, and I guess it touches his heart. I don't know. And then he puts his knife down, takes his mask off, and here's like a tear.
What?
And then she goes to touch the tear or his face, and he loses it and tries to stab her and kill her. So they're in the attic, and there's candles, like Michael Myers, very romantic. He lit candles everywhere. And I was like, why don't you just kick over one of them fucking candles? That house will go up pretty fast. It's condemned.
Unless the wax puts it out. But yeah, I feel like that only happens in movies. Like, I love candles. I always have a candle going. I'm surprised I don't have a candle now. But like the whole 20, and it's always the candles that just the wax strips off the side. Mm-hmm. I'm like, who's cleaning this after? Is what I always wonder. Like,
right. So then at the end, Loomis, he stabs Loomis, and you think he's dead, but he comes back like Michael Myers to save Jamie and to try to capture him. He created this big elaborate, like, Loomis shoots him a ton of times. Michael falls down, playing dead. And then Loomis goes over and like dies on top of him.
It's a little dramatic.
A little bit. And somehow he ends up being taken into custody. So he's in a jail. And Jamie's like, okay, I see him, he's in a jail. And then some random I don't know who this person is, comes in and like shoots up the joint. Like it's from the 20s and it's like a breakout. So they end up like letting Michael out, and then she loses her shit, goes back to the mental institute. But yeah, it got real weird and campy in parts. And I'm like,
yeah,
why are we not cutting up his body and like spreading it out?
because secretly they like that he keeps coming back. I think
Clearly they're like not paying attention that he is not really human.
They're like, this franchise could never end until next year with Halloween ends. But
right. And then what about H2O? What were we gonna say?
Well, I was trying to explain the Halloween order to somebody because I was rewatching Halloween Kills at home with a friend, and well, he was at his home, virtually watching it and trying to explain that these new ones are basically just going straight from Halloween 1 and 2. That's similar to Halloween H2O. It pretends all of the other films didn't happen. It's basically 1 and 2 were the same night, Halloween, and then it skips 20 years to this story. But then you throw the story out the window when you see the new movies. So Halloween H2O was made in it came out in 1998, my favorite year. I just love the cast. I keep going the wrong way. Besides the incredible Jamie Lee Curtis, you have, I'm looking back as if it's there. What's her name? I'm struggling. What's her name from Dawson's Creek? Michelle Williams. You've got Josh Hartnett. You got, ladies love Cool James. You got LL Cool J.
Yes.
And this was Josh Hartnett's first feature film with his funky hair. Were you a Josh Hartnett fan? Was that like your crush? I know a lot of girls liked him. Anyway, so this story, 20 years later, she had faked her death. So I guess it's kind of explaining why she was missing from a lot of the other Halloweens. Faked her death in a car crash. She now has a 17-year-old son who she figures out Michael must be after her now to kill her 17-year-old son because she was 17 in 1978 when he first came for her. So there's a lot of little cameos in it. Her mom's in it, the great Miss Janet Leigh, that we know from Psycho. And so whenever I was watching this, I would always hear music that I remembered from like Scream or Scream 2. And I thought it was just me because you know how much I love Scream. I thought I was
just hearing things.
I think
you hear it everywhere.
It does. It follows me everywhere. But actually, there is the same music in because, and I took notes. This is how professional I am today, because I knew I'd be struggling. But wait, I have his name somewhere, so I sound smart. Dimension Films chief Bob Weinstein demanded musical changes because he wasn't super happy with Ottman's score. So they added in music from Scream, Scream 2, and Mimic. Like you could literally hear, I recognize Scream music, but like it's identical. I mean, it's great. This one, I guess, like, so Jamie Lee Curtis agreed to doing this because, So Jamie Lee Curtis, I'm like trying to think with my brain how to like flow into that. So she only agreed to doing this if at the end they didn't allude to it being a sequel or that Michael was still alive. So if you watch this one, when you finally do, because I know I'm selling it so well that you want to watch it, although I'm spoiling it for you, whatever.
It's fine.
So at the end, it ends with her chopping off his head. Going off what you were saying, they have an intimate moment like he had with his niece. Like they almost touch hands, and then she takes a fire axe and cuts his head off. If you end up watching Halloween Resurrection, they say that she cut the wrong guy's head off. It was actually some like father of 4. I don't know. Like it just goes into like it gets weirder. Halloween gets weird.
I'm glad they can explain that off really well. Actually, they a completely different person.
Yeah, which is also kind of weird. Like, what? Anyway, I know there's copycats all the time. But so, yeah, they actually started filming Halloween Resurrection right after wrapping. Like, use the same scene so it matches. But she said, like, you can't keep, you know, hinting that it's going to go on. It's got to end. Like, I saw a great meme the other day. Someone tagged me and it was like, you know, I'm giving Jamie Lee Curtis one more movie and then I'm killing Michael Myers myself. So like, that's what's going to happen in the next one, in Halloween Ends, I would assume. Spoiler alert, if people haven't seen Halloween Kills. I mean, I had a feeling he was going to live because there's another movie coming out, but also it's a very extreme, like, almost death scene. I mean, you watched it, right?
Yes,
so
I did.
He comes back because he's supernatural.
Yes, I love that he's been shot like a million times throughout the entire series and just like keeps coming back. He's like the Energizer Bunny.
But that's the thing, like, how are you actually going to kill somebody ever? Like, they tried to burn him, but I guess they, you know, they didn't let it burn. They sprayed the house down, but I feel like he would have been dead already.
Oh yeah,
you know?
And he's been shot a million times. Yeah, hit in the head a million times. Like in 5, Dr. Loomis beats the hell out of him with like a 2x4.
So Dr. Loomis is already dead in Halloween H2O, but it's like he had just died. He didn't die the way, I don't think it's connected. Well, no, it's not connected at all to Halloween 5. His nurse, Marion, who is in all of the other movies too, including the new ones, she's like, it begins at her house where Michael goes and steals the file on Laurie Strode, who is now known as Carrie Tate. He doesn't know that, but she's a dean at a private school. Like, she's restarted her life. She's still, you know, struggling. She wakes up screaming in the opening scene. Yes. Yeah, she's an alcoholic, functioning alcoholic, as her son calls her. Like, there's so much good banter. I feel like this movie is very 1998. Which is probably why I love it so much. Another little fun music fact. So her mom's in it, Janet Leigh, you know, from Psycho. And when she comes up to Jamie Lee Curtis at work, she plays her secretary, her nosy secretary, who's kind of like feeling out if Jamie Lee Curtis is banging the guidance counselor, which she is. And the mom gets to deliver the famous line that's in, I think, every Halloween, or at least 5 of them. It's Halloween, I guess everyone's entitled to one good scare. So her mom says that, and then it's classic, except I felt it was a little forced in Halloween Kills. Anyway, so as Norma is her name, Janet Leigh is walking back to her car, which is a very cool car. They play like a little kind of ode to Psycho with the music. So I thought that was really sweet because Psycho, which we should cover at some point, is such a classic film. And they mentioned Psycho again in this, like, because Josh Hartnett, you know, he's got a kind of weird relationship with his mom because she's, you know, a trauma victim. Like, she's got things going on. And so his friend says, like, calls him an edible enabler and says, like, you're going to end up running some weird motel. You know, so they throw to her mom a lot. It's very cute. But yeah, the whole school is going on a trip to Yosemite. I know I'm jumping around, but you ain't gonna watch this movie anyway. So the whole school is going on a trip to Yosemite. Of course, Jamie Lee Curtis doesn't want her son to go because she's super overprotective. At the last minute, she says he can go because, you know, she feels bad. But he's already planned a secret Halloween party in the school basement with his friends, the other bad seeds. And so that's why they're all left alone while everyone else from the school leaves. Do you have it? Like, I was watching Halloween Kills, and the kills are so great. Like, they're so over the top. Like, I went to see it in a theater with, there's like 3 other loners in there. And because I went to a 2 p.m. showing on a Friday, and everyone was like, be like, oh, like making sound effects to the murders because they were good. They did a great job. I found that movie very enjoyable. I look forward to Halloween Ends. I mean, I'll be sad.
Halloween Kills. Anthony Michael Hall. I was surprised to see him in there, and and then I was having a hard time following some of the timeline from that movie because now, as you say, it didn't really follow any of the other movies. Kind of jumped around that I was like, I am missing some stuff. Like, I'm missing things. I don't understand entirely the following. of what's
because
going
it
on.
it goes from Halloween 1 and 2 to the last one from 2018,
Mhm.
which is the same night. So it's really getting rid of a lot of movies in the middle.
Yeah.
But that's fine. That's fine, just
As
pretend
long
it
as you
didn't
can
happen.
understand that and it's not like a streamline in chronological order exactly.
Yeah. I mean,
Also was very confused recently, had to figure out that H2O just meant 20 years later.
not water.
Halloween.
Did you think
20.
it was going to be Water World?
I was like, what is H2O? Is that like they're in water? They're in the ocean?
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
That was
Because they
the
do like to do
thing,
their
too.
weird campy shit of like Jason in space and what if Freddy versus Jason, like the campy weird shit. I'm just like, H2O, what does that got to do with water? No, it's Halloween 20.
Exactly. I think,
later.
and the way when you say H2O, that's water. So yeah, no one ever was like H20. I watched it. So
I did
love
enjoy
it.
Halloween Kills.
Were you like me and you thought Anthony Michael Hall was going to be the killer?
No.
I totally thought he was the killer at first. Like, I thought, ooh, this is going to be a deep, like, he's had this angst because he's been talking about the boogeyman. Then nobody believes him. So he's going to show them. But then I couldn't figure out how he would be there.
I did like the nod to Halloween 3 in Halloween Kills.
The masks.
With the masks. Where the 3 little kids who were annoying as hell and I wanted to hit them, all of them. Assholes. They were wearing the Halloween masks.
And then he puts them on everyone he kills from the car. Very nice. In a nutshell, I think Halloween H2O is like the revenge of Laurie Strode, or that's what it was supposed to be. Like she's powerful in it. At one point, like Michael's stalking them as usual in the school, and she's like, I have to face him myself. So she goes and fights him, and then LL Cool J like stops her. I feel like there's always somebody in a scary movie that stops you from finishing your kill, and I get it. That's so the movie can continue, but it angers me. I'm like, stop that facing, like cut his throat. Like
just keep going until you can't stop
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so he stops her, and Michael, escapes, of course, and then I don't know. It's like I said, she ends up cutting his head off at the end, but it's not really the end. So, yeah, I think you should.
What I do like is they make a comment in this movie. So it took 5 Halloweens. Okay. So I don't know how many years this is between the first one and this one, where Michael comes back just about every year to kill people. And it's made a comment and it goes, they should really just ban or cancel Halloween in this town. You think?
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah.
Like, why are we even allowed? Dude, it took one like accident in Footloose to get them to cancel music. Why does it take like 20 years of like murders for them to go, we should probably not allow Halloween here?
Yeah, it seems a little more, but then, they use that to their advantage later on in these movies, and you've got Tommy Doyle telling the story, really amping it up. Granted, that's because it's supposed to be a long time after. So it's
40
more
years.
of like an
supposed to be 40 years.
Yeah, so it's not supposed to be like still a danger. They don't think. I mean, okay, so it's supposed to be 40 years. How old is Michael then?
1 million.
Or he's like 50. I mean, not that age matters. Yeah, I think people should just watch 1 and 2. You can watch 3 separately. 1 and 2. Either choose your adventure and skip to Halloween H2O. Or that's exactly what it is. Or you skip to the new ones. By new, I mean 2018 Halloween Kills, and next year's Halloween Ends. Mm-hmm. The ones in the middle, you could probably just never acknowledge.
Now that I know that Halloween Kills literally is skipping over all of the movies in the middle, now I can go, okay, so you watch 1 and 2, then you can skip to those ones all the way at the end. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now that makes way more sense, because I was trying to figure out who Tommy Doyle was and all these other people.
What?
Now some of them,
he's in the first movie.
Yeah, there's one.
He's the little boy she's babysitting.
Yeah, but there's also a kid, because they do make a lot of references to 1, right? So I was trying to figure out if it was Anthony Michael Hall. Like I had to go back and look at things and stuff. It was confusing, but there is a part where the kid goes, they in Halloween 1, Dr. Loomis is hiding out next to the bushes. And so some kid is like, they're like, go inside Michael Myers' house. They're like, go inside. And he's like, okay, I have the guts to do it. So he goes up and he gets scared by Dr. Loomis. Just get your ass out of there.
Well, that I think is supposed to be the friend that they mentioned that has the son.
Because they were like, well, you went into his house. Like,
and he's like, no, I never did.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, they had a bunch of cute throws. Obviously, well, Anthony Michael Hall did not play Tommy Doyle in the first one, but the girl is little Lindsay Wallace. That is the same actress. She's in that reality show, The Real Housewives. So you've seen her recently, or at least I've seen her, loosely on like Bravo or something. And then I Googled it before this one came out. I was like, oh, I never knew she was the actual Lindsay Wallace, because she's really young in that movie. Yeah. And so I thought that was cute that they had her in this one. I don't think it's anyone else, any of the other kids. But Tommy Doyle, that's who Jamie Lee Curtis is walking to school when she has to stop by the Myers house. But then also, okay, so she's stopping by the Myers house. That's her house. Right? Old house. That they're selling through Strode Realty.
Yeah, she doesn't know that though in part 1 and 2.
Okay.
Or in part 1 because then she finds out in part 2 that she's related to him.
Got it. Okay. I thought she already knew. And I was like, what do you mean? That's your brother?
Well, yeah, we find out in part 1 when he's at, they're talking and they're at the mental hospital aftermath, and like they close the door and it says sister on it.
Yeah, got it.
Which is all actually, that was all filmed after, like an afterthought kind of.
Well, because they're probably like, wait, nobody's going to understand.
Right. They're like, wait, we have to.
I love those scenes where they're like, hold on, we got to make this a little more clear to the audience.
Yeah.
Because they do a test audience. Yeah. And I would love that job, is just to be like, yo, that didn't make sense at all. Or that was a stretch. Because then they can go back and do post-production and add things in. Oops. Kind of add that in and make it easier for the masses to, understand. Which is important for horror movies. Get too complicated, you lose your target audience. The Scream haunts me forever.
And I think that is a great ending for this episode.
Such a nerd. All right. Yes. No, that is great ending.
Yes, on that note.
Are you going to wear the makeup for the rest of the day? That's what
probably not. I will probably shower. I wasn't sure you not mentioned my makeup at all. So we're just gonna pretend this is my face now.
Well, I mean, I loved it because I was just like, what is happening? I'm just staring at her in pumpkin face. But it's fitting. It's Halloween.
It's like this. It's like I need a knife, and then I look like the original pumpkin with the knife. Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Thanks. This is what I do in like 5 minutes. I had this whole planned out, and then I overslept, and then I get text messages going, "Are you ready? How's your face coming?"
Yeah, and you were like, "Oh yeah, I'm doing that today." Whoops. It worked out. Now I get to go make pizza.
Paint this real fast. Like us on Facebook, like us on follow us on Instagram, where we post weird things. Let's see. Like, subscribe, share on YouTube, and if you are listening to us on Spotify or iTunes, then rate and review. Since I cannot speak.
But you should watch us so you can see our great costumes for this one. You should
yes.
Go to YouTube.
Your toga that you've got going on here.
It's a poncho. It's a poncho. Until next time. Happy Halloween.
Yes, happy Halloween. Enjoy. Be safe.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Shea. Can't get anything right. It's okay. Go ahead.
Go. Hi, I'm
Shealyn. God damn it. You said go, so I went.
Okay, go. For real.
I'm gonna go.